Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another character series from the Trash Can League. My name is Harrison. This is going to be the round 5 game between Snoopa and Risotto. Our first map is going to be on Saguenay, with Snoopa playing as the British civilization spawning to the east of the map in the colour yellow, with Risotto. Well, he's going to be playing as the Spanish civilization, and he'll be spawning to the west side of the map in the colour blue. Looks like this Spanish player is opening up with a trading post, dropping the trading post in the correct location to get that first pass of experience. Notice how Risotto, if he went for this trading post here, he probably would not get it up in time and so miss out on that experience. But in a bit of a weird way for the Spanish civilization in particular, I don't think it's actually going to matter too much. By the time that trading post gets completed, he's going to get an extra batch of XP 40, and that's nearly his shipment there and then, so it won't actually make that much difference. So yeah, it's a great placement to get that first pass, but actually doesn't really matter for that first age shipment for Spain. Afterwards, though, he's going to work on his 75 wood treasure. There's the crack shot and the dog helping up. That's going to be working very nice. And with him scouting this, he's got this perfect macro to get a spare house down as well. So it looks like actually Risotto opting to not go for a 12-10 age up, but may actually go for a 13th villager. He's got 3 villagers smashing away at this house. I think he'll try and go for 14 vills. He's got 15 vill queued here, but with this our time, I think he may cancel and go 14 vill, and play with the extra shipments, let's say. Let's look at Snoopa's point of view, see what's up to. I'll see Risotto here taking 110 coin. Snoopa over here, though, he's going for a 100 wood treasure himself, crack shot in 1 polar bear. Second polar bear kill as well, so lots of experience points, lots of wood. He's also gone for a trading... Oh! Snoopa, what are you doing to me, my brother? You cannot leave a trading post there. 2.1k HP. Is he actually tactically trying to hide this? Wow comes in from Snoopa. No, he's not trying to hide this. He's just dropping the ball, and I think he's going to miss this next pass of XP coming in. This is going to be close. Depends on how long this Traverse sits off screen, so it's going to be 1 second, 2 seconds. It's already in. It's already in. It's going to be close. He's just going to get it. He's just saved himself, I think, there. Oh. Snoopa, what's going on? Oh, wow. Shift click bug. Yes, we know how that feels. He says shift click bug. I don't think so, because you don't just randomly walk away at 2.1. So maybe he gave himself another kind of command. But yeah, okay. Risotto here getting that, obviously the 110 coin. He got 75 food there. He's actually got a decent amount of treasures coming in. We do see the market coming down here from Snoopa. It does have 50 coin in base. So hopefully, Snoopa's not mind any coin here to get his hunting dogs and sees this, clicks this. That's basically 3 hunting dogs for him on that market. If you forget this, Snoopa, I'm upset. And God, these guys, they like to have their scroll speed really high. And why is my mouse not locked to the thing? It is, but I really don't like people with fast scroll speeds. I just don't understand. Like, it doesn't give you that extra control. I don't think it provides much. So Snoopa here trying to go for a Virginia Company build on a map where hunting options are somewhat limited. We do see Snoopa pushing in this moose hunt and trying to get control of this elk hunt. Will come across this explorer dropping down an advanced trading post. Risotto sending in ATP earlier. I did see that. But I think it's important now. Snoopa sees that himself. He does see the trading post come down. Does see it as an advanced TP. And I suppose from British players' point of view, you can't really do anything about it to deal with it apart from drop down 2 barracks and just train lots of musketeers. Pikes would technically be better at sieging, but the musketeers provide that all-round unit versatility, which will help really well in this situation. Manor house coming down. Now that the shipment in, you can just see all these manor houses being dropped down. A nice manor house wall here. We do see villagers with their gang saw. The coin not yet picked up by a villager, which I'm at this moment in time, I'm starting to worry if it's been completely forgotten as the APM will start to increase. Aging up with the... Oh, is aging up with the outpost wagon and the coin crates as well, instead of aging up with the Flosser's Prince for the 500 food and having all the villagers behind on the woods line, dropping down manor houses and obviously chopping for the barracks as well. So, be interesting to see that. It's also worth noticing that Risotto playing on this map. I do want to check. I assume he's actually going for a logistician build. I just assumed that his opening or 3 vils ATP would be playing into more of a standard play, but that explains the house and the extra 3 vils there, because he wasn't looking for a 15 vil Idleness age up 800 food. He's looking for the 15 vil age up 900 food. Going into logistician opening here. I think he just sent wood. I don't see where that wood crate's gone. Has he gone for an outpost somewhere? No. Going for a crease settlement on the advanced train post as well. What did he just send there behind this shipment? Oh, of course there's no crate. It gets added to your stockpile instantaneously. Oh my god. Yeah. Of course. Well, so he's got himself a logistician bonus. Any crates he ships from the Age 1 gets added to the stockpile instantaneously. I knew that. I'm just testing you guys. Just testing you on that one. I see market, steel traps coming down, musketeer defense, explorer running through the town centre, late to catch his 40 experience treasure, it seems. Open up the coin afterwards. The Kree TP here is quite nice to see. I think you see him trying to go for the CDBs being trained as well. That would help his economy tick along a little bit more. Snoopa, though, training pikemen, and yeah, pikemen are great sieging, but they don't offer anything else realistically. And the fact that he's going for another batch of pikemen, he's got 2 caravels being sent because he looks at his opponent's deck. So if we go to not Snoopa's deck, we go to Risotto's deck. We can see he's got water options here on Saguenay, but he's actually not gone for the water just yet. This is some big brain kind of IQ, kind of like, will he take the bait? Will he not? Does he know? Has he scouted it? The explorer coming in to scout, and Snoopa, that caravel was cancelled and being resent. He knows not to blindly send it, and Snoopa's thinking, I can't see that dock anywhere. Oh, don't tell me he's just using this for the line of sight, because it doesn't really matter. He's cancelled it. Correct decision there from Snoopa. I do appreciate a little bit of kind of like dynamic decision making. The blind caravels, yeah. Well, it was going to be blind caravels, but yeah, the correct decision there. But the thing is, Spanish player musketeers. The Spanish player here has no right to have musketeer superior numbers than the British player here from Snoopa. The pikes, they tried to siege. They haven't got the train post down. It's being repaired, and this is kind of why you need like mass musketeers, because you need to be able to defend yourself if musketeers here from Spain come in. And the 5 musks and the ATP is actually going to do very, very well. Obviously, the ATP having 25 range attack, musketeers with 23, and yeah, he's going to push in, and that's a dead pikeman there. A couple of musketeers moving to defend, but another musketeer will go down from the ATP. The outpost here is going to get some good picks off as well from Snoopa as well, so it's a bit of an even trade. And yeah, Risotto's going to push back and try and help this outpost come down. But please tell me that's not the outpost. The explorer tanking all its damage. Oh, the explorer's tanking all its damage. Snoopa, you need to mark the outpost and focus on a musketeer. And Risotto actually taking a nice military advantage in Age 2 here. Snoopa, 14 musketeers on the field. Risotto here, 19 in total with ATP here, focusing down a couple of the pikes and musketeers. Still pushing on behind with some more wood crates. We finally see our first dock coming behind. So the caravels, if they did come, they would have actually put some pressure on. But it's okay. I think Snoopa at the moment is probably better with that coin crate shipment and then musketeer ups. But he's not actually gathering the coin crate up. He's got 10 villagers on the coin mine at the moment. Please don't tell me you just forget that the coin crate exists. Okay, he's got a villager on that. But I would be expecting to see villagers from the coin mine move across to a food source to rebalance that economy out, because you would have too much food coin in the end. Even having the train post sets of food is somewhat questionable, given that you've got hunts up here, you've got a hunt over here, or 2 hunts this side, hunt behind, and you've got 2 villagers aimlessly chopping wood behind, but it doesn't really matter. Super now focusing down this final advanced train post. It's been healed up again. Max really gets in some good opportunities to heal this up really cheaply and prolonging this 25 range attack. This outpost must have done the thick end about 400 damage now, 500 damage now. Certainly a lots of damage being outputted by this ATP, and it's good to see. We see the classic dock on the island. I did specify to the players beforehand. I said I wanted Saguenay winter version, but then I did change my mind to say Saguenay any version, no resets, so that players had to kind of think about picking a civ and playing it on both versions. And Spain and Brit can obviously play both versions quite well. And Spain here taking the islands is a really big brain play here from Risotto. I see the caravels coming in at the moment, and yeah, they're going to put pressure onto the docks. At the moment, there's not really enough fishing boats to actually get a large amount of damage in the docks onto the caravels. The caravels are absolutely fine there, sieging from range. Obviously, Snoopa now with his musketeer attack upgrade. Risotto doesn't have any upgrades in H2 apart from the church, the what are they called? The yeah, these guys, the unction, the missionaries, the holy men on back of some donkeys who magically boost your unit's attack quite drastically as well, up to about a maximum of 45%. So it's a very, very strong upgrade when it comes in later on. Obviously, you need to research it, send the card, and then send it. Does he have AA? Risotto has AA. Snoopa does not have AA. He does have naval combat though. Does have double musk ups. No 6 musketeer shipments, but got 1 cavalry card. But I'm really liking this deck actually. Not over having useless cards in H2, no 700 food. Does have the 5 ills though. I think the 5 ills could have had an extra place, but I suppose you had to give up one of these cards. Well, no, you do have a space for it. Maybe Snoopa, you don't need the fish market. Well, actually, maybe you don't need whale oil, to be honest. I think whale oil now only being 5% stronger than fish market. Get rid of whale oil, have the fish market, and have 5 ills in your H2 deck. And that works out quite well. Now Spanish replying with the caravel shipment of his own, training the caravel, taking down Snoopa's caravels in the water quite well, but the land fight is going in favour of Snoopa behind here. The dock has come down here for Snoopa, but there's no fishing boats to garrison into the dock, but a lot of villagers actually went down on the hunt, and that's actually a real nice pickup. I don't think that's a trade either player expected to happen at the moment. Taking the villagers into consideration, Snoopa at 42 villager population, Risotto at 44, and that is comprised of 9 fishing boats and 30 settlers, because we've got the 5 CDBs as well from the Cree settlements. That's actually a real nice play having those CDBs, and a couple of Cree trackers out to deal with the musketeers. These guys are very tanky. The problem is though, is that the latest patch pushing these Cree trackers to the back line of the musketeers. These do have decent range, 18. They have very low attack, but they have high HP with a range resist. Actually, it's the Cree trackers you want in the front line to tank and protect your musketeers. It's a weird dynamic here. You don't often have that. You're wanting your skirmishers to protect the musketeers behind, but Risotto's kind of got that situation going on now with the skirmishers behind, and actually kiting away will lead the trackers towards the actual army here. So it's kind of working in a sense, but yeah. It kind of does the job, and yes, now the Cree trackers can try and turn around. Meanwhile, I did see Snoopa aging it behind here, to the Fortress Age. Another big batch of musketeers, and yeah, British players doing what they do very well, just train pure musketeers. What I'm anticipating is coming next from Snoopa is an artillery foundry into some falconet production to deal with, obviously, mass falc skirmisher play here from the Spanish player. Huron Settlement has a TP waiting to be built, but the Explorer went down looking to go for the Huron fishing. Also, Huron Big Button is a very strong tactical option he could go for at a later point, so we'll keep an eye out for that. Fishing boats here on the northern side for Risotto, they do have 0.84, so that's going to be just the gill nets being sent in there. Oh no, he's actually teched in fish market instead of researching gill nets. I don't think these would have had gill nets anyway. It's just this. They do now have their Eco Theory coming in behind, but it looks like Risotto is missing out his 90 wood, 90 coin fishing upgrade, which is so crucial, so worth it, especially when you have 12 fishing boats. I think gill nets is a must to research when you have about 6 to 8 fishing boats. When you get that number, definitely tech them as much as you can, because having teched up fishing boats is better than having occasionally +1 here, another boat here. Really does make a difference. So it looks like Risotto's actually sent himself schooners as well, which when you have a shipment like the 300 wood plus the lost edition bonus, I suppose the lost edition bonus gives you the woods as well for the schooners. It's quite hard to say what's better. Schooners slightly nerfed. It's only 20 wood cost reduction, but the build time's only down to 30%, so I think that knocks off 2.5 seconds per boat being trained, so it's not a massive difference. just might not be like the go-to card everyone thinks that Schooners is these days. And yeah, Gillnet's coming in when you've got all these fishing boats. 17 is good to see if you're having it, but it's a bit of a misplay. But it's coming in later, and Risotto, you know, 14-ville Dutch play, Gillnet's great coats. These are fundamental things to talk about and highlight, and I think it should be discussed more often than not. Even the pro players, I think they get their fishing techs a little bit too late sometimes, or they just forget they exist. I noticed how you don't have rendering plans in your deck. I suppose you went for the fish market, prioritizing the lost edition bonus, but then not really having a secondary fishing card in the next stage. Having, you know, cards like well, 700 wood really. Like if you've got 300 wood lost edition bonus, you probably go 300 wood instead of just the 700 delayed shipment. So you can probably take that card out and have rendering plans in there to help your eco. You don't have obviously the whale oil because your civ doesn't have it. Anyway, Falconet's pushing in here from Snoopa. He's been in the fortress stage for quite a while now. Max himself just aging up himself. He's actually sending CM defensively, researching Minutemen and researching Vet Musks from the defensive backs. That's a good play. That Town Centre actually might come down before CM actually comes onto the board, so that's going to be quite tough. Here's some more Falconets. Yeah, so Snoopa was going for an artillery foundry. Town Centre goes down. Villagers exposed. They do have their great coats, but unfortunately there's many upgraded carded musketeers here. Let's look right with Snoopa. He's gone for... Did he actually send 1,000 wood afterwards? He might have 1,000 wood back at home. Let's have a quick check. Yeah, he has. A bit of an interesting card there from Snoopa. I'm not too sure how I feel about that, but I suppose it does help. You know, the artillery production. Would have preferred infantry combat there with the musketeers there and then, or something like a frigate to try. No, with the frigate here, not really going to help the situation too much, especially with the 4 caravels. Yeah, I suppose the wood actually works well because you're taking the trading post line behind, having the train line on coin. Max manners though. So, what is the plan for this wood Snoopa? I'm curious to see actually where this is going to come from. Dock come down. You're going to try and train a frigate, send a frigate. That's going to be quickly shot down there by Risotto, and Max is retreating his way back to the town centre. And Snoopa can chase, but honestly, there's so many houses here. There's 400 woods to capture as well from the British point of view. The market is looking very vulnerable as well. That can put a lot of pressure on. Sieging the town centre with the Falconets and just slowly pushing the coast with artillery. It's going to be a very strong play here from Snoopa. The frigate coming in though, he's just trying to get some sort of leverage onto the water. I think he's going to drop that frigate right about here. If he moves that flag a bit. Okay, it's currently spawned in this location absolutely fine. And is pushing the water and the land at the same time. It's going to be very tough to deal with. 5 Falconets now in the engagement, and you'll see plus 10s everywhere there for Snoopa. Risotto, he can't engage, and I think Risotto's best option now is actually to train a frigate himself and try and broadside these units down from the coast. Caravels here going to engage on the frigate 4v1, and actually there's like a bit of fishing boat getting caught up in the crossfire there, absorbing some damage, and that frigate going down very quickly. The fight's actually happening. The 2 Falcons got sent from Risotto, timing now with the 5 Lancers. There's a bit of Falconets here from Snoopa just packing, doing the dance. 1 Falcon is still alive. 1 HP is very low HP. So actually, that could be a 2 going down there, but actually Snoopa managed to get the kill. The Lancers do come out. Enough musketeers here to get into hand combat and block this. That's a double kill there, and the final Falconet will go down. The musketeers will get some kills here, so it's a trade. It's a trade probably in favour for Max there. That's giving himself a bit of breathing time. That frigate went down very quickly. Couldn't deal with the 4 caravels there. The advanced train post here will go down. Snoopa, I did see training a culverin. Does have 2 culverins. These culverins instantly nuke fishing boats. It's so satisfying to watch these guys take down a fishing boat. And you can see how he's going to play that. So actually maybe with this all this wood left over for Snoopa has, he could go for an arsenal and research heated shot, but looks like he's going to try and throw down lots of outposts instead, so that also works. Four caravels on the water, actually keeping these musketeers at bay. Snoopa, though, standing on the coastline a little bit too long. A lot of these units low HP. Maybe it could be a tactical time to build a church and train a couple of priests, but they're low HP. There's the culverin taking 1 Caravel down. Actually, got a lot of area effect here. Could actually get some double kills if he's going to split this off and control it very, very well. I don't think one area of effect is actually going to be enough to actually cross over between ships, but theoretically it's possible. That's a third shot there from Snoopa, and that's lovely to see. A lot of kills. I think Snoopa's trying to get onto the water himself now, training a frigate, and that could push the artillery onto these middle islands. And a culverin on the middle island can just has range of shot over every single fishing boat there is. But defensively building up though, Max is. He's got a bit of land. He's got some trees. So he's got trees with his villagers. He's got the fish with his fishing boats and the whales as well. Yeah, Max is not. His position is dire, but it's not. It's not like mission impossible. There is ways we can get back. He still has the houses and the market. These were never taken down, and I think Snoopa may have been wishing that instead of losing those falconets to those lancers, he had a couple left over to do with his housing population behind, and trying to push into the artillery foundry, the outpost, and now the colonial militia town centre. Can be a bit of a tough one. Frigate out onto the water. The Victory being named. Not carrying any of the artillery pieces just yet, but you can see actually what's happening. Okay, Culverin's going to come out, but Snoopa will pick that off and say thank you very much. Snoopa being very cautious not to lose his falconets. I like this kind of slow play here from the artillery, not wanting to rush in. I think Snoopa thinks there's no more Culverins on the field because he just picked off that one batch, but actually there's one behind. Obviously he will see this, he's paying attention just about. One falconet does go down, and yeah. A lot of raiding all over. We do see town centre coming down to the southern side of the map here. Villagers actually punched down the Explorer, so that one's not going to be built. TP here, Huron Big Button could come out and actually put a bit of a pain onto his villagers. Decent siege units as well, so you could actually get quite a lot done down there with that training post. But Risotto calling the GG with his Xbox signature picture. Xbox themes, camel, Gatling camel. Nice funny picture that is, but yeah, calls a GG. And game number 1 will go into Big Snoopa here. Max going for a very interesting strategy. I do like to see interesting plays, but versus a British player here, kind of the Musk. Once he secured that second age with all his musketeers, kind of nullified the ATP play. Went quite well. And I think the ATP play is a nice play on the right map, like so like a map like Dakar, where you might have a bit more opportunity to get the line and actually control the entire line, because there's always going to be one TP where you can never control because it's in the opponent's town centre line of sight, and obviously versus British player, kind of that ATP play before going to Logistician kind of delays your Age 2 play a little bit and gives your opponent a bit more chance to come in, so maybe something to consider. But I think actually the build order overall was very good to see. And yeah, and the thing is, with the Logistician build here from Max, I think there's quite a high skill ceiling available with this strategy, and lots of ways to add different cards, play different styles around it. We did see the Cree CDB coming in as well, so could we have seen a bit more of native treaties play, because we had that Huron coming in later on, but potential for a decent batch of 4 Cree trackers, 3 Huron mantlets. That's not a bad shipment to have, really, especially because both those units do very well versus musketeer style units. Yeah, a lot of things going on here for Max. Obviously, apart from the late Gilnet's timing, cough. But yeah, these villagers are stronger on the food than your is that a normal villager? But they're both CDBs. Is there a normal villager on the hunt to compare? I don't think I can see. Okay, 0.66 on the coin mine. Yeah, the fishing boat's much better, faster than the villain on the coin as well, after all his tech. So yeah, tech in is very well. And it's not like he ever lost the water. Snoopa was still fighting. I think towards the end, I think a bit more of a defense could have happened, but obviously you're more interested in defending your own land, which is obviously more important. But yeah, no, it's yeah, a lot of stuff happened that game. I was really struggling to keep up with it. I have to say, I missed the Vils getting nuked on the coast. I missed when Snoopa aged up. I missed his first card decision. Then I kind of didn't realize Risotto was aging, so I clicked town centre. Lots going on. Max must be distracting me with the Greatcoats banter in the chats. Let's have a quick look at the Vils. Yeah, nice boom with the villagers, the CDB, and the fishing boats. But so Snoopa, of course, and Risotto. Yeah, delayed boom there once the shipment started rolling in. Actually, the economy is really strong with all those upgrades as well, but starts to lose that position while Snoopa continues to train villagers very well into the third age. I think that's one area that some players struggle to keep up, is the village production as the game gets a bit more delayed, a bit more advanced down the line. But the military population, once Snoopa had that military lead, had minimap control, taking down a couple of advanced trading posts, felt secure to aged up, especially with the musketeer attack, ensuring that he basically dominated any H2 fights that were taking place. Then was able to send falconets and kind of go for the classic giving Zati Musk Falk push, where Max did have an artillery foundry. Could have gone Culverins earlier. I think could have anticipated the Musk Falk play, and could have held on to that town centre being built by the coast. And I think that game would have been very interesting if it went more delayed. Don't even bother upgrading those units. Banter. Okay, let's move on to the next game. Oh, beautiful. I love this map. Right, we're on Malaysia. Snoopa's home map today. He seems to have picked Malaysia. He's also won the last game as well, so he had the first pick on his map, and he's chosen to play as the Indian civilization, as he'll be spawning to the southwest of the map in the colour yellow. His opponent, Risotto, Max, spawning to the northeast of the map in the colour blue, playing as the Chinese civilization. And it's actually quite a nice hunt spawn map. He's got one in base, one very, very close to the town centre as well. We have OP scroll speed as well, giving myself motion sickness. Let me turn that down. Maybe because I've got like a high DPI mouse to compensate. I don't quite work it out. It just seems to be very fast to get those precise macro and micro control movements. But for casting, I definitely use the right click mouse drag as well to help out. Yeah, India first pick. Why do players play India this map? Well, a lot of low tier treasures, lots of yaks across as well. So having to explorers, fast movement speed, nice line of sight as well. And although Risotto's pushing Snoopa's elephant all the way back to base, oh my god, how did Risotto get that yak water buffalo first? That's just RNG going in his favour. Even though, yeah, no, fair play. Look on the bright side, he's up here on his own, picking up these water buffaloes. But there's a disciple nearby as well for the Chinese player as well. So that could be taking a couple water buffaloes himself. So actually, for age 1, in terms of explorers, it's somewhat even. These disciples, they do move fast. They move the same speed as a explorer, but they have significantly less line of sight as well. So that their scouting is actually quite a bit tougher in that sense. I think he's just going to lose this water buffalo to the elephant. No, he's going the other way. 5 water buffaloes here for Risotto. And if I go onto Snoopa, he's only got the 2. That's not the amount of water buffaloes I'd expect to see this matchup go that way. No, Iro in Indonesia. I think Max is actually a decent player of the Haudenosaunee / Iroquois as well. So, there's an option for him to go for that. However, in this matchup, I do like the Chinese pick into India. I think it plays well. And if India wants to go water, China have a very strong water shipment in the Fulkan, which he has in his deck. He does have 2 war junks. He does have East Indian men as well, which I'm not too sure having East Indian men in your deck if you're not sending it as card 1. Because just having it in your deck, it just shows your intention of going water anyway to your opponents, or the possibility of doing so, whereas you're still going for card number 1, 3 vills. Yeah, he already played Haudenosaunee on this map twice. I was wondering where I noticed you'd play that civilization. Yeah, you played quite well as well. Explorer moving around, just some small tier treasures coming up, but will come across this 80 wood treasure if he sees it. If we take off the fog of war, he does actually see it, and he has the disciple nearby as well. That's actually quite good timing there, having disciple and monk on top of a treasure. And if we look around, there's no elephant nearby. Let's actually see what he's up to. 50 coin in base. That will help him market in transition. And Explorer over here picking up 1 water buffalo and there's 90 food, which is a decent treasure India can take. This is the type of treasure they do very well at taking. Sending this water buffalo home this way is very risky, actually. That's just asking to be stolen. Luckily for Snoopa, that Risotto's on the northern side of the map, minding his own business. Okay, so we see the summer palace being built. Only one villager constructing this summer palace for the time being. I think he's just trying to get a bit more food before changing over. 8 villagers on the wood line behind here. He obviously had some wood being picked up there from that treasure. There's going to be a market in transition. So, yeah, so techs are starting to roll in. He's probably looking for a coin treasure, which he does now. So he has his 80 coin, which is going to really help him in his H2 market techs. Having a market here and building the market and only aging up with 1 villager on the Summer Pass, to me, does indicate some H2 play because your Fortress Age time will be very delayed. The timing is more important for China because you're more of a shipment-based civilization, and actually the Wonders are very strong in terms of actually providing bonuses. So if you delay in your Age 3 by going for markets, I'm not too sure the payoff is quite there. But as we've seen, yeah, just the 1 villager here on the Wonder. It's going to be age up. Going to be like a 5 minute 10 timing, which is a bit delayed. And Snoopa going for in-base aggro as well. Not too sure needing an in-base aggro in this matchup. Also, you can go mid-map aggro, and you can go in-base Carney. I suppose in-base aggro allows you to go full greed as well, because you can't really be punished if your opponent goes for early shipments early on, because you do have this very strong aggro fort. Certainly decent splash damage will put pressure on crossbows pike formations, and you do have Minutemen for the Step Riders, which are siege units, so you get destroyed by those units, by the Minutemen. Doc dropped down to the southern side, so Snoopa here going to go for a bit of a water play. Does have a 1v1 water deck. Opened up with East Indiaman instead of Distributism. Now going for 700 wood instead of foreign login. I think that's just to get the wood income there and then much faster. Go for a second dock. Research guild nets as well. House. Maybe a production facility. Yeah, consulate. You don't need a production facility. You've already got the sepoys there, so I'm sure that wood will be spent very, very quickly. Probably a second dock will be high on the agenda there from Snoopa, but we'll check back to see what wants to spend it on. Risotto here. He's oh no! Oh no! Oh my! Meh. I don't think the payoff from the goats is ever worth it. It takes too long. It takes too long to actually get up to 300, unless he has some sort of rogue deck converting livestock into export or something strange like that. I just don't think this investment onto goats is really going to pay off, and I don't think Snoopa's even going to scout this. He's probably thinking goats. Oh, he's probably found them somewhere. Thank you, Tad, for the 13 raid. Come to game number 2 of a play all 3 series between Snoopa, Risotto, part of the Trash Can League round number 5. And you've just seen Risotto train 5 goats in China H2 to kind of give him a bit more of a delayed, bit of an investment into later on. But the sepoys coming in, batch of old hand being trained, which is constantly being thrown down with lots of villagers here. Export was sent. Interesting to see. I expect to see. I guess in his kind of boomy play, we might see the German consulate come in behind this, but those techs, like kind of those eco techs, like the distributism, colportism, are actually quite expensive. So that 300 export can only really afford one of them in that sense. So we'll also get the consulate bonus, which will have his batches cost less food, but the actual impact on that export will be significantly less than, let's say, going Brit Consulate and being calling the 6 Musketeers, which will do very well versus these Sepoys and Elephant Explorers. Meanwhile, double docks. We do have an upgrade here for Snoopa. Is that the rendering plant? It is rendering plant coming in behind. I'll come the old hand bash, actually catching the elephants very, very well. The monk still standing, might actually get a bit of a snare off. He's going to cover mode to prolong his life. That's a good micro there. Shukanu behind him. It's going to get a good exchange. Gone really well so far. And in a weird way, actually, that Explorer staying alive is probably going to hurt him a little bit. And no real way to heal that until he gets to the next age and gets all that extra natural HP added to that base. Anyway, Seapoy's going to move back. I think the Sepoys are quite happy that they've bought himself his own time on the water. He's forced the response here from China. Let's look at those goats. Okay, those goats have only just reached 100 food each, so he's just managed to make back his money on the food paint into. He didn't even intend. This is we're talking about the hotkeys that you can customize it in this game. Like, if I was to look into results point of view, look at this. Oh, I can't look into it. That's a shame. Press Alt maybe. Oh no, for me it would come up with an icon like train goats, home city shipment, but it won't have the icon for that little kind of like what is your key bound set. So I remove all the hotkeys from the village, all from the market as well. I don't want any of that stuff at all. And Risotto is just ending relationships after the food trickle. I'm not even too sure he managed to even tech in distributism. Just wants to go straight back into brick consulate nice and early, it seems, which seems a bit weird. Max's build is just strange. This whole thing's gone a bit strange so far. Water buffaloes are gathering up quite nicely though. That could be a nice kind of investment for him. And you've got to remember, Max has got all that food and goats and cattle still yet to be eaten, and that could be a nice way for him to age up on the 700 coin behind as well. So could push in for damage and age up behind. But I think India with their fishing boats is doing quite fine, but it's not a lot of fishing boats, honestly. 10 fishing boats with rendering plants. I don't even imagine Gillnet's even been tagged in behind us as well. 1.04, yes, that will be Gillnet's on top, not rendering plant just yet. But he has 23 villagers chopping and just doesn't feel to have enough production. He's gone for a third dock on the northern side, so yeah, now triple producing fishing boats. So that's more likely, just getting that eco starting to roll a bit forwards. These water buffaloes are forwards. Just probably hide them in back corner of the map will be even better. Consulate coming down as he sends consulate shipment. Yeah, he's going to send foreign login, not as an export here because he has enough naturally. I think he's going to go Ottoman consulate and go for the 4 villagers. But having foreign login coming in now is going to help him very much so. It'd be good to see. Gillnet's only now on 12 fishing, but what else did he say? Oh, he said fish market. Okay, yeah. Fish market only being an extra 10% more than your 180 resource tech of Gillnet's, but that's fine. In a weird way, I'd actually like to see Imperial bureaucracy. He's on 32 villagers. It does make sense. Actually, in terms of cost benefit, probably having long lines being teched before Imperial bureaucracy would make a tiny little bit more sense. But that's only like splitting hairs if we're actually kind of cracking down on the kind of mathematical analysis of, Imperial bureaucracy on wood gatherers or 30% long lines on your fishing boats. It's a bit of a doesn't really matter. But yeah, the food eco, the coin income from Snoopa a bit low. I like to think these guys are all on the wells nice and early. So if these guys are on the wells now, they get to prolong the life of the fish in the water. I think he's got the idea roughly there. Anyway, meanwhile, we do see ones are being built from Risotto on the coast to Porcelain Tower. That's a bit risky. Know that the opponent might go for some water. And they're just sitting back. These goats have been eaten, only up to 178 food. I don't think Max has got the investment he really wanted from those goats being trained. Does have 2 water buffaloes. There's one back here away from not being fattened. 220 food compared to 369. So yeah, put them on the Chinese villagers. Certainly does get their rewards. There's a lot of Chu Canoe actually here compared to the Chang pikemen. So 15 pikes, 30 Chu Canoes. Did Max actually send bows? He sent the bow shipment, which is a bit surprising. Obviously, he was going somewhat semi-aggressive. He wasn't really going all in. He saw the wall, he saw the aggro, saw the Gurkhas, and thought, I can't really break this, can I? A nice wall behind, actually. Even the steps going to struggle to get there. Zam's going to try and fend them off, but he probably needs to gate one of these walls so you can just get them out. We have the Master Surgeon being trained from the consulate. Is this another misclick? You got nothing here to heal up. Where's the monk? He's not down on HP. Yeah, he's just another misclick. Oh my. Max, sort your hotkeys out. Get rid of any hotkey you don't need because it's not worth having something being trained when you don't need it because it could ruin your game. Surgeons being trained. Okay, if he was playing as the Indians and training surgeons, I'm like, yeah, he's going to elephants. This is going to be great play for him, but he's not. He's just... Max is just doing Max things, which is usually questionable at best and funny at worst. One full Khan now being shipped as Khan #1 in the Fortress Age. He does know that waters in, so he's going to move his Chinese flag down here. Castle on the coast as well, so Castle and Fulkan, nice combo. Chukanu though, 32 upgrade needs to veteran Chukanu. This upgrade costs only 100 wood, 50 coins, so it's only worth doing, and even with this amount of pikemen here, it may be worth only 14, probably not, but certainly the upgrade to Discipline Chukanu is a very good decision there from Max. I do like that a lot. I think it's very nice. These pikes in a lovely dance for us as well, in nice circular formation. That's cute to see. Right, on with Snoopa's point of view, he's still in the second age. He's not actually aging up at the moment. He's just spamming lots of sours and gurkhas, and I feel with Tekken in rendering plants, fish market, I feel you should have these resources to age up by now. Like, you should have had like this all this eco sorted. It's you'd hope for a little bit more tempo than it is, but the sours on top of the Chukanu is getting a great engagement here. These guys, no upgrades just yet, no cav attack, no Dravidian martial arts, no Brit consulates, but certainly getting a great trade there and then. And Max's Chukanu count gone down quite a lot. 11 pikemen, 21 Chukanu, so going down 10. I think I saw some cav behind. Okay, the Zambrak's just holding fire. Hand mortars from the castle. Okay, this is a real nice play here. What I would say though is it feels like haven't really invested in actual land and military yet, so you're kind of hoping that this anti-cavalry doesn't get cleaned up and Snoopa's not going to train like a magical batch of 20 sours. He's aging up. I'm hoping it's the Charminar Gate age up here. It is going to be the Charminar Gate for the Mahout Lancer and the Mansabdar ability. Falcons, caravels do come out. We do see 7 fishing boats in the dock as well, providing good cover and fire as well, so that's a nice two-pronged attack, but the hand mortars will put some pressure here. And we do see Snoopa continuously training sours behind. Once they complete this batch, he gets a full batch of 5 out. This is actually a time he could push out. Anti-cav here from Risotto looking very limited. Intervention being researched. Probably going to go into the castle. Yeah, great pop there with another batch of Changdaos, and that shipment has just saved Risotto's life, it seems. And yeah, even a couple of colonial seapoys pushing forward. Gurkha's trying to do Zams. They've got nothing to counter at the moment. I think quite used to seeing China go for Misha hammers nice and early, but in this case it's just going to be the siege, the ships, and then now the redcoats behind. Still, somewhat decent engagement here for Snoopa. I think any trade so far as well. On the northern side, he's got a nice fishing economy up here, about a couple of boats. The fish down below are still gathering. They're not being idled just yet, but he will need to actually do his very best to get a unit out onto the sea very quickly. I think he's saving up for a frigate, so he's going to age up now, train a frigate. Could even send a frigate as well, or even better, the 3 caravels. I'd actually argue in this situation when you've got close range targets, you just need stuff there. That could have a great effect. Towns seem to be further down the coast. Snoopa cannot let this come up. Mahout's been sent behind this. They do have a strong siege component, so they can actually do well versus buildings and obviously versus skirmishers. Gurkhas here will be upgraded to veteran Gurkhas here. Barracks coming down. Obviously, the Agra fort still standing, producing Gurkhas as well. Mansabdar Gurkha possibly being produced in the back behind this. One Mahout being trained. And yeah, Snoopa. Oh, this is a close game at the moment. Could go any way. I'd like to think that Snoopa still has the tools to get back into it with the investments he's made, and especially the northern side where he can continuously train fishing boats, which he's currently doing. So I think this fishing boat may be a bit idled. Actually getting a war junk out from Risotto, just training one of these ships. They're not the strongest ships. They have a very fast fire rate though, so maybe they actually do quite a lot of damage versus fishing boats. Yeah, it's a very consistent attack. It's actually quite nice to see. You don't often see the war junks here. There's the Misha hammers being sent from the shipments. Risotto starting to get his massive kind of mass going and actually training a full Khan himself. That's a very expensive. Oh, and actually healing this up at the dock. This is a shame that Snoopa couldn't pick this off. That's very crucial that got picked off. And sending those 3 caravels now would have picked off the full Khan, would have protected his fishing boats, and he's actually losing his own fishing boats behind this. And yeah, it's the villager looks huge in comparison to the fishing boats all the time. It seems a bit weird. Aqua says moving forward now for Risotto, just slowly edging in, trying to get picks where he can. But now there's a massive contingency in Mahouts. Has Risotto seen it? No, he has not yet. I do not believe. A couple of there's Urumi and there's 5 Mahouts. This has to be the time. He's going back, but if there's a time you're going to hit, it's going to be now. You've got such a huge power spike there. There's the 5 Mahout, 5 Urumi. Believe in your units. Okay, Mansabdar, Gurkha coming out. There's a couple of Zams behind as well. I think the charge is coming in. No inspiration because he edged up the Charminar Gate, but Yeah, there's actually just so many units here, and it's the 5 Mahout, 5 Yumi combo is just going to rip through this infantry board. There's just too much stuff here. The Gurkhas need to stand a fire though. Don't want to get too close, but now that the naval force is coming in, yeah, the Fulcon can put in so much damage. There's just no naval prowess here for Snoopa whatsoever. Also making good use of that Mahout shipments, and yes, the Yuri on top of all the heavy infantry. I just see lots and lots of Redcoats and Changdaos going down. A couple Mahouts are staying away from that heavy infantry ball and kind of coming at a later point. The hand carry going down. Zambrak's doing a decent job here. Gurkha stand alive, but Minutemen coming out, and it's just going to be enough from Risotto. And who knows, the 5 goat semi may be the play. He's actually eating that final goat now, so he's actually getting this Ois Eco rolling in behind this, and Risotto now taking a very good position here on the southern side. A very large mass of skirmishers and held off that Yurumi Mahout power spike. I'm very concerned to see whether Snoopa can really actually get another power spike to get in. We look at his ship, so he's which has options. He's got 8 Gurkhas now, sending in the 1 frigate behind, but you know a frigate's going to lose to a Fulcon one-on-one. Looks like that Fulcon was actually cancelled here from Risotto. He didn't need it. 3 Caravels is probably the shipment he probably wants versus this kind of outfit here. There's actually Brit Consulate coming in. Oh, he had taken that fight with no Brit Consulate. That's a bit of a feels bad moment, but another big batch of Mahouts coming out. Changdao's going to melee mode, so the Red Coast, but that's not really enough there. Enough Gurkhas behind will pick off quite a few of these units, so that's pretty decent to see. Risotto moving back now to his town centre just to kind of remass. But yeah, it's a couple of villas down here from Risotto. He must have trained a decent amount of villas nearby. I see 12 in this nearby area, so yeah, it's actually trained a lot. Dock come up northern side, town centre northern side as well, putting pressure. The town centre actually has anti-ship damage versus fishing boats, but an outpost only has range. So that's a quite interesting dynamic here. A frigate here from Snoopa is going to secure the northern side. I think Snoopa's realised that he's actually lost control of the southern sea, but he can take control of the northern sea, where there's more resources to be gathered, because most of the resources down here had been gathered already, but still a significant portion. There's 2 villas here on the coast as well. Did they just pop out of the fishing boats randomly? Maybe. They need to move along, I think. Or is Snoopa going to try and get these into a fishing boat and drop down a building on the southern east coast? Not quite certain. Alright, another exchange in the middle. Gurkha's pushing forward. The Mahouts are certainly getting close, drawing a lot of fire. A lot of these units are heavily damaged, so I think they must have tanked a lot. That entire arquebusier mass here is gone for Risotto, only down to 5 now, so the Mahouts went in, must have got that nice pick off here. And now Snoopa has the score lead and has that positional advantage on the northern sea. But the dock here is nearly going down. Another dock coming out. There's the war drunk with a heavy multiplier versus buildings. 2.5 docks. I'm just wondering how the fire junks do so much damage versus floats. Maybe that's like a hidden damage calculation. I need to check into that. I had somebody one-shot my float with a fire ship a while back. I think it was Eternal Major. I was like, what on earth's happened here? But Mahouts on the top side will go for his town centre very quickly. These guys high siege, and the army's being called now. He's feeling comfortable to push out, so the Gurkhas will join him. They'll leave the southern flank. Massive hand mortars here, very nice, but that's only anti-building units there. There's no real anti-infantry or just any classical artillery that you may think about, which Indians and the Indians and Chinese don't really have any classical artillery. It's just these like pseudo artillery of the siege elephants and the cannons. But these sentries picking off elephants. This man isn't paid a lot, but he's certainly given a lot for his country there. And yeah, a lot of Zam's gone down as well from the town centre. It's been such a huge pickup. It's not 80. It feels like an ATP there just for the amount of units being lost, but no, there's a lot of Zams going down, who's going down, and now Risotto's pushing in on the southern side. Obviously, all those Mahouts were heavily damaged. The frigate goes down to the castle, and there's no real place for these fishing boats to survive now. Agrifort does go down. The Gurkhas, I don't think they were really pushing forward to actually contest this. They certainly could have got a lot of picks and stronger skirmisher force than the small that Risotto has. And obviously the hand mortars, they don't actually do much damage versus infantry anyway. It's just 5 siege with a bit of range, so only a little bit incremental damage here and there, not too much. Misha Hammer's running away. And villagers will up into their town centre. But Snoopa with the 3 TC play, he does like games going long. He's quite a good tendency to play economy civs as the game goes on. He plays a lot of team games, so this game's still not even close to being over in terms of position. Okay, I must say that Max positionally has the advantage of, now controlling that northern coast. Just needs one more unit on the northern side there. There's the war junk. That should be enough to pick up the fishing boats. And pushing quite hard into the base. No real outs here from Snoopa. Snoopa's on the northern side. Still going for Gurkha Mahu, which is actually a nice combo versus China, really is. But it's only having the 23 Gurkhas, not ideal. No elephant combat, just shipped in just yet. Does have the Brit consulate on his units now. Other side villagers. It's just 56 villagers here on the field for Snoopa. Max on 71 plus Porcelain Tower and double TP Stagecoach. So yeah, economy now decisively in the lead for Risotto. And I think from Snoopa's point of view, you got to remember he shipped in both the rendering plant and the fish market, but now really struggling to find any ground on the water to actually gather. So all this text being shipped research early on just not really paying off in this sense. And also had that delayed rendering plant instead of having that one nice and early. Siege elephants do come out. They're being shipped, trying to put pressure on the castle now. Moving forward, nice and massive Gurkha. Waiting for the massive Gurkha to be retrained from the Charminar Gate. That can be retrained, of course. Do you see some units putting pressure on the town centre? This could be a nice game for a British consulate. Petard improvements from either player. Probably Risotto would make more sense because there's just rogue town centres all over the place where a couple of Petards could do a lot of damage. But yeah, Disciple's been trained from the Explorer. He's at full HP as well. Another war can be going down. And looking at the units, he has territorial army combat, no repellent volley. Makes sense because there's not really too much heavy infantry or Zambraks to deal with. No Magi being called yet either from Risotto. That could be a good idea for him, but his economy absolutely looks stellar. He's absolutely fine smashing out the units. He's actually struggling to find a production because he just got so much going on here. Just needs to hit that fine old war academy button and hit that train territorial army button at the same time, and he'll get some good results. Actually, train fishing boats on the southern side as well. Nice play. 11 boats in total. Now we're sending repelling volley. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it works. And there's something else you can resend it instead, and that gives your arquebuses an extra 10% attack as well, just for regular use versus Gurkhas, and also would melt Zams very well. So that should give Max the confidence to go into more of a cavalry play behind. Doesn't have double face armor in his deck. That's an interesting card to not have in your deck. So I suppose, yeah, you can't have every deck card. You have to give up one eventually. Pardon me. Probably need another sip of that good old water. Very nicely flavoured water. I'm surprised there's still Indian fishing boats on the northern side. These could be cleared so much faster. But I think Max has been really focusing on the southern side of curtailing the Indian player into his base. The Chinese player now age up to the 4th age, agent with the Confucian Academy for a large batch of skirmishers and the production of age 4 flying crows. Could have aged up with Temple of Heaven, but he's already got enough villagers as it is. I think extra villagers probably won't matter too much. I think the Helium Wanderer as well provides a set amount of HP to heal, not an endless amount infinite for audio units. So the effect from that Wanderer is probably limited. A nice pickup from the town centre. Villagers getting exposed here. Not having the great coats, only having the British consulate, but obviously the Brit consulate just enough to keep some of these villas alive. And always nice to see. Age 4 from Risotto here. Snoopa, is he going to age 4? Well, no, he's not really. He's not really close. He's only got 63 villager economy. He's starting to run out of natural resources and having to train lots of units basically to hang on in his situation. He doesn't. Okay, he has actually sent British East India Company as well, so his units are decently upgraded behind here. But he's got Mansabdar Gurkha, he's got Brit Cons, he's got British East India, so these Gurkhas are very, very strong. However, just not enough to deal with the economy that the Chinese player has. Actually, a Redcoat batch and a Falcon coming out defensively. It's actually going to be quite nice, but yeah, only losing a couple arquebuses. They're so cheap. Now he's got honoured as well. These Redcoats will get melted by these counter-infantry rifling skirmishers. Snoopa coming down very heavily with his Gurkha army Mahouts. Not actually much units here from Max on the field. 140 population here for the Indian player. The Chinese player is actually 150 population, which is actually really low because Syria's got 95 villager eco. So, yeah, Max having trouble spending his resources. His production here as a Chinese player a bit limited. He only has, he has 4 war academies. Just struggling to get the coin. Is this on coin? It's on wood. This probably needs to go on coin. Got some villagers moved on to different coin source, and this can go on to the Wales. But I think Risotto has the ability and tools to change up his production. But losing all his skirmishes to the couple Mahouts this early is a bit of awkward. Age War shipments. He does have Rattan shields. He does have Western reforms. Probably looking to send. Well, yeah, I mean, Chang Daos could work very well, especially this cavalry batch going from the top side. That's going to be a nice engagement. Snaring from the top side and then just trying to engage. But he does actually need the arquebusiers to try and match Snoopa's skirmisher army. And yeah, Max is making this look actually somewhat tough. He's struggling to get enough units out in the field to actually deal with this. But he does have full control of both ponds of water now and good fishing opportunities. This full calm can move up to more of a forward position, try and put pressure on the castle, stable. Couple of houses. I think it's possible, especially now that the town centre is a bit away from the coastline. Actually, Risotto would do very well to train some Imperial army, I think. Gets arquebusiers, iron flails out. Flails very tanky, heavy cavalry. Destroy skirmishers with their multipliers and splash damage. Not too many Zambraks here from Snoopa. Also, you got to remember the combination of having iron flails with repelling volley skirmishers, having multipliers versus the Zambraks. These Zambraks just melt. All 3 of them instantly picked off there. And yeah, what stops iron flails here? Nothing. I think iron flails generally are better than meteor hammers. I know people say meteor hammers are better because of the snare mechanic, but actually strength-wise, flails are very, very strong. Which is off. Hoping he has a good one. Cheering for Snoopa. Nice to see you flying your flag. Chiss is here saying hi, Big H. Yeah, I'm watching. Oh, Chiss, we missed your series earlier. You playing Passy. Decent series, good effort there. Shame about the result, but it's okay. That Brit game was a good game. I enjoy watching that one. But who's cutting down the Chang Daos? And yeah, the Chang Daos here from Risotto are moving forward, but they're going to get picked off quite fast here from the disciplined Gurkhas. Needing just the cavalry, just needing some sort of heavy cavalry from China. And obviously missing the Chinese heavy cavalry upgrade here, the two-face armor. So yeah, obviously it's a deck. You can't have every card. Maybe you can't not have a deck with Manchun as well. It's a strange game of what card do you miss out. But trying his best to push in now with the Honored Chang Daos and just trading arquebusiers off the normal way. Snoopa dropping the GG, well played, and yeah, the game ends and Max. Strange semi build to H2, the accidental training of the goats, but the very smart pushing the water, the castle, the early Fulkan, the town centre to help shore up that defence, and then the early. I think you went hand mortars card number 2 and actually had a surprising effect. Or was it you went intervention card 2 and that had enough heavy infantry to protect your skirmishers for when some cavalry came out. There's a monitor here. For some reason, from this angle, it looked like a new mercenary ship, but the monitor actually is doing put in some good work there. Castle going down, a couple of houses as well. Yeah, just the pressure that a monitor puts on it is very good. But yeah, that intervention shipment came out at the right time. Snoopa was massing his because Sours in the second age. So I think it would have been great if Snoopa could have got that water boom off a little bit more effective and try and got those resources into age at a bit faster time. Yeah, maybe could have utilised a crate shipment to help the age up as well instead of going for double fish market and rendering plants. I don't know. Like I'm not an experienced water player as well, and just it seemed really, really good. And just Max was able to scale. If Snoopa was able to hold on to the water, I think he would have probably won the game. For a long while, he had the economy lead. And when you have strong ships like 3 caravels, 1 frigate, like the 3 caravels is surprisingly strong, especially when they're fighting together. Would have held that pond very, very well. And I think that's there just have a strategical thinking I'm surprised your 5 Mohawk Pop, 5 your Urumi shipments, and all those Gurkhas didn't clean up that army better than it did. It was an even trade in the end, but it just felt like, wow, this is going to be the perfect time. I mean, and if you had naval superiority, then you could have probably fought from the coast. The other thing from India as well is that they're very good at chopping wood. They have the wood trickles as well. They can actually afford to make a lot of warships as well. So I think that's where something could have happened there. Instead of maybe not shipping the frigate, which you don't need to ship the frigate. You can certainly train caravels. Obviously, they're wood heavy instead of coin. Maybe you could save some of the coin here and there options. But when you're playing versus Max, he does like to take these very weird build orders, and behind the build orders is actually a decent player. So the skill carried out the game there. Villager population super way ahead. That northern player as well into the pond, nice as well. But once Max got his position down, that second town centre, never really lost the villagers. Obviously, Snoopa just losing that presence. And also, I think quite a lot of raiding on the lands to the left-hand side as well really didn't help that situation. Let's look at the economy as well. That gives a big indication. Yes, a huge economy lead for Snoopa, and as soon as the economy starts going the other way, the Chinese player having more economy than the Indian player, that's just going to get tougher and tougher and tougher, especially as the shipments the Chinese player was sending were upgrades, whereas the shipments that the Indian player was sending was basically unit shipments back to back. India, they don't really have many upgrades for their units. That being said, so that's when the upgrades come in. And once the age up comes in, it's just pretty much tough there. Just unit shipments coming up from age 4. Iron flails here would work really, really well from the Chinese player. The fact that Risotto in his deck, he doesn't have 8 meteors. He has Rattan shields. I think the 8 meteor hammers is probably a better card than the 26 Rattan shields. It's not often you have that 1,000 coin floating around. I do like the kind of momentum that shipment provides, and not also from Max's point of view, East India men and 2 war junks. I don't think you need both of these shipments here. I think war junks on their own are not great, so maybe take the war junks out and have that as an extra card for age 4. Obviously leaving the 3 unit shipments here pretty well. Rendering Plant can help your efficient eco, and good game in total. I really enjoyed that, and I certainly would encourage the Iron Flail play, Iron Flail Arquebusier combo as China here, especially when each of these covers each other's weaknesses very well with the ranged. What is it called? Repelling volley. Going to decimate any Zambrak encounters, and then the Iron Flails are like, right, I get to polish up everything from remaining behind. So that deck needs a rework. Yes, no, I do agree. That's fine. But good game there, boys. We'll move on to the final game. Let's play all series between Snoopa and Risotto. Right, tomorrow morning, Sunday morning, I'm just going to smash out Age of Empires 4. I think I'm a little bit tired at the moment. We'll probably go get some dinner afterwards. It's actually quite late as it is. I might play AoE 4 off stream just to kind of get some in. When I come back in for that stream tomorrow, I'll be at it. It should be a really fun stream, and actually be nice because I'll come back in with full energy. Be like, wow, he's playing here, and oh my god, what's going on here? What is going on here? An ancient cookbook of the art of seasoning food, granting a small trickle of food with a colonial swashbuckler and 2 African vagabonds. Wow. I mean, I know they changed. I know this African vagabond is an. Oh my god. Where is it? Snooper? Big Snoop with your fast zoom. Oh my god. I might just ask Risotto to send me the games instead, or Risotto send me the games instead of Snoop. I can't remember who I pinched them off, but your zoom, it's just you're just too OP. You're just too OP for my camera skills to handle. Okay, so we see the French player going for an early trading post here. Same with Max. Max taking the trading post on the 4 TP line. French player taking the trading post on the longer line. So the amount of bounty the French player is going to get from this trading line is going to be so much higher than the northern line. But I feel that the northern line, Max is looking to try and take stagecoach control in the second age. That's my guesses so far. And actually, with this map, with all its extra resources, we see the mosque, we see just 1 coin crate on the floor. Doesn't have a house down, but I suppose he doesn't actually need a house in a very weird way, in the sense that he's actually going to be aging up very, very quickly this game. Yeah, a mosque and a house. That's actually quite expensive. Okay, shipment ready to come. 3 villages coming in. He's actually got a deck called The Pepper Coast. And seeing infinite Spahi, 6 Spahi, 5 Spahi. Not full rack of cards in the second age. And rendering plant. This might be an interesting one for Max going for a water boom. Obviously, this is Max's home map. He's the second player in this matchup. So this is his home map. And as he won the last game, he's chosen to play the Ottomans, allowing for Snoopa to counterpick. So it'll be interesting to see and how this game develops. So just looking at his deck, I just don't feel that I see the intention of maybe a trading post kind of like control is the game plan that Max wants to go for. I'm expecting to see some sort of dock coming at a later point, but as a map's official, it's not the greatest map considering how good the land resources are. I think that's the main reason. The treasures on the water are not impactful. I'm just looking for the amount of whales. I'm trying to scout. There's 1 whale, 1. It's just 2 whales in this map. There's not a lot of actual whales. I was expecting at least 4, maybe 3 would be fine. But I'm only scouting 2 whales here. Most of the coin mines are on the map. They are tin mines. You do have a can tribe as well for another gold mine if you need to buy one. Quite expensive, but certainly worth it. Yeah, this trade is probably way too tough to take these days. The Swashbuckler and Vagabond is, I think it's like 0.8 villages worth of income. I'm guessing now. I need to work it out. I know it's like 25 res per minute on the coin, maybe a bit more for the food. I'll have to check that out at a later time. But yeah, interesting map for these civs. Obviously, the French player here getting the house trading post with the extra crates with no real bonus, with no real R time. It should be a decent age up time here. Snoopa aging up 13 villagers actually. Probably 13 idlers is quite a nice compromise between the early trading post and actually then aging up with more villagers. Let's look at Snoopa's deck. 1 versus 1. Anti-water has 2 caravel, 1 frigate. The thing is, like, although, like, I imagine you built this deck thinking, okay, anti-water deck. Let's take out 1 card, put in the ship. Let's take out 1 card, put in the ship. Your main card of naval combat is just not here, and what you don't want to be in this situation is fighting somebody on the water with naval combat. Okay, Max here also does not have naval combat. And it's such a crucial card to, if you are going to go water, naval combat is so important in that situation. I think it's only worth having that option in your deck. It's one of those, you never have to send it, but sometimes a 25% combat card is just too good to not send if you are going water. And I see 1 villager moving this way to go onto the tree line. He's actually got a really good food economy at the moment, so not looking to go for kind of that South Sea bubble. Maybe that's the explorer here building a training post. That's 3 TP. The villagers here just chop in. It looks like Risotto with the coin shipment here will be going for a somewhat fast age, but I have a feeling this is going to be a version of Sir Callan's The Build with a 4 town centre defense in the fortress age. We do see the 700 wood being shipped now. We do have 1 covered wagon. And I think on Pepper Coast in particular, Max, if you're to play this matchup again, this map, I would encourage you to send in Silk Road as your card number 1 instead of 3 villagers. That way you get more XP bounty. Your age up crates have more resources. So you get 250 coins instead of the 200. If you're going up with the governor, I think in governor, or do you go with the food? Probably went with the food actually then. Your 700 coin would be 875. Your 700 wood would be 875 wood. That's your basically 2 town centers there. And then your starting crates, all those extra wood crates you get, the starting crates, more resources there and then. So you can go basically trading post, leave the mosque for the time bit, maybe get the mosque, try and leave the remaining crates on the floor as possible. And then you can get the extra resources there from the spice trade, because they will then top up the crates on the floor. So that coin crate could have been topped up there as well. And yeah, all this bounty, 69 XP, that'll be up to about 85 extra percentage there. The 3 vils is nice. I actually think the actual silk trade is probably better than 3 vils in Sir Khan's the build, because when you do get to this next age, town centre, you're sending town centre, but when you're sending 1k wood, 1k coin, that could be 1.25k wood, 1.25k coin, and that's actually a significantly bolstering your economy and just allows you to springboard that much more in that situation. Anyway, so we see town centre. Struggling to see with the fourth. Oh, it's been built very defensive, a very great position actually. The back tin mines as well. Maybe over here, really far away, could be tactical in the sense that I don't think Snoopa will be pushing this way too much, but then again, he could be trying to take in the TP line, take map control, and say, I'm not really going to push your double town centres. But that's the thing. 1 town centre, 2, 3. Feels like you had the ability to go 4 town centres if you had that, let's say, that kind of that spice trade build. So you had that more wood to go. He's now going for that 1k wood, but I'm sure you'll get your 4th one afterwards. And also, when that wood comes in, I'm looking to get your extra mill techs here from the mosque. Maybe, who knows? You have that villager nearby, a single dock, a couple of fishing boats, and have the ability to go into water at a later point. Can make that transition really, really smooth. Kaiser's streaming at the same time. Yes, I think Kaiser's streaming his legacy tournament. I said to him, basically, I'm probably too busy playing Age of Empires 4. I lied, I'm doing my trash can. And the thing is, I had the idea for the trash can league and kind of got the admin done, organised, started before his tournament even conceptualised started. I was like, well, I can't really give up both, especially when I want to try and further my own content creation, let's say, compared to ESOC, which it's nice doing stuff for ESOC, but sometimes you do want to see a bit more of a reward for yourself. I think Kaiser Clan, he might be streaming his own channel, which is what I don't get. I don't know if it's an ESOC thing now or a Kaiser thing or a hybrid. I don't actually know, but I'm sure it's going to be good. But anyway, we can raid Kaiser afterwards. This is the final game tonight. Obviously, each series is a play all 3, so this is the 3rd game between Snoopa and Risotto. The scores are tied at the moment. Anyway, back to the game. We do see double batch of Janissaries being trained from the barracks. No upgrade just yet. Where's your veteran Janissary? The Janissaries are way too important to be engaging this time. And this bad boy here should most definitely be your veteran technology. But it's okay. I think he's gonna push back. Falconets here from Snoopa. Going to go for a Musketeer Falconet push. Musketeer Falconets come really in fashion for the French recently. Quite often it's like couple units here and there, but then kind of go skirm, goon, and then send your falconets alongside. But Musketeer, Cuirassier, Falconets has come back into fashion, I'd say. 1k wood coming in. We do see a second training post come down for Snoopa. I've just seen... No, it's just my eyes deceived me. I was about to say, I thought Risotto's TP icons there are a little bit larger than Snoopa's, maybe to indicate who's got the most, but nah, it's just my eyes playing tricks on me, possibly. Yeah, Musketeer Falconet pushing forward from Risotto's point of view. Here comes the crates of coin. Yeah, so there's the crate of wood into crate of coin. Yeah, definitely look at the spice trade. Not a spice trade. Look at the Silk Road option at a later point. That gets my seal of approval stamp on good strategy. That is Abus Gun, Jan Defense. Now send the Falcons as well to try and trade with these Falconets. And okay, you might lose one train post here, but it's no big deal. You're quite happy. You got lots of XP coming in as well from your other train posts. The one in the water as well is quite nice. And yeah, it's all looking mighty fine. Snoopa though, let's actually look with Snoopa. We've kind of neglected him this game. He's a loving person himself, and he deserves our care and attention as well equally. Steel Trap, CDB sending in 1k wood, 1k coin, and obviously the Falcons. So trying to go for the more, not greedy, I'd say. I think greedy is the wrong word. Shipments which can give you the maximum potential, possibly. Skirmishes are nice. They give that initial push, but actually, I think Snoopa's thinking, I can get the woods, I can build a town centre, I can build a stagecoach, I can upgrade, I can get these techs, I can build houses, artillery foundry, falconets, the coin to fund that behind as well. Just that same kind of level investment, but like we just can't quite get with sending in units. And yeah, there's actually artillery foundry. Big boy Harrison calling it as we see it before. So that's going to be a bit of a massive musketeer falcon spam. But here comes a musketeer. Oh, the bounce just hit the Abus. It bounced over the falconet and hit the Janus behind it. But if that actually hit the falconet, that could have been quite devastating, depending on how much of the cannonball hits the falconet. Falcons here from Risotto trying to get it changed, but every time they go back in, the only thing they target is a musketeer, and the Falcon micro here is insane. Let's ride with Snoopas. We can see its range. They're both in range now. Who's going to take the first shot? And it's going to be Risotto taking that first shot. Snoopa, I think what was awkward for him, he was moving in a different, he was moving in a parallel direction, or no, yeah, perpendicular. He was going up and down while Max was going left and right, and basically had the wrong surface area of his cannons compared to the formation that Risotto had, and that made sure that 2 falconets were in range for the 1. That second falconet was probably out of the way. Could have actually got a shot off. I don't quite know, but that's yeah, it's not great when you're down, and yeah, sometimes trying to force a 2v2 Falc trade is quite awkward because whoever loses is really in the back foot. But it's okay. Snoopa training Culver. Yeah. That's awkward because you're training Culver Rins now when actually you've lost the siege potential that you needed with the falconets to put in the buildings to do with the town centre spam. There's a 4th town centre behind. I'm sure Risotto here will have his village attacks. He needs to get his Abbasid. It's not Abbasid market. I forgot what it's called. It's the maybe Tokapi, I think, is the second one to get from 45 to 70 vills. So at the moment, he's actually losing quite a bit of villager time, and by the time he trades this, it might be like 6 vills he's missed, 7 vills he's missed. Okay, it trains actually quite fast. It's only going to be like 2 or 3 at max. It won't be too much. Anyway, musketeers and skirmishers pushing forward. Falconsmen pushing that forwards. Fence. I mean, it is literally a fence. Culverins as well. They've just been shown. He sees the Culverins. Actually, Culverins will pick off the 1 falconet. The other falconet is awkwardly behind Explorer, villagers, and Janissaries, and actually some, in a weird way, that's kind of saved that artillery piece. But Abus guns doing very well. The thing is, there's not really much to answer the Abus guns. There's only a couple of skirms here from Snoopa. 27 musks and 18 skirms. We continuously see more musk skirm competitions here from France. I think French players now like to utilise their team range infantry attack to buff their musketeers and skirmishers quite well. But yeah, the skirms are now doing very well versus the Janissaries, and not enough real Abus guns to do the damage they require. So yeah, not too bad actually here from Snoopa's point of view. The score lead is in Risotto's point of view. That makes sense because of the extra town centres and all the score in it. Snoopa doesn't quite see the 4th town centre, and actually the fact that he's not on a 2nd town centre himself means he needs to basically push and secure. Secure the win with this push. Really, like you can't go 1 town centre versus 4 town centres. Given that the 4 town centres here, they don't have to pay for the villagers. 54 vills versus 34 CDBs. Town centre here from Snoopa on our gold mine. Very nice positioning. Down here is just another tin mine, but it's J-Switz. I'm not too sure actually if it affects the Ottoman town centres, but the J-Switz trading post, building HP, very nice. Gunpowder attack, that was changed from gunpowder siege to gunpowder attack for artillery, heavy range. Well, all gunpowder cavalry, that's dragoons, harquebusiers, that type of units. And gunpowder trooper, that's Abus guns, skirms, musks. It's a huge tech. But also, look at this. Christian skills, villager build time, minus 15%. 4 town centre boom, minus 15%. That's a lot of economic potential there, just from a J-Switz trading post. I'm sure Max has done his thorough map analysis before taking this series and picking the Pepper Coast as his home map. Akanim basically giving that gold mine potential as well. Berry bush and mill gathering, converting food into wooden coins, quite useful. Yeah, it's a good tech there. Infantry speed build time is very good as well. And 1 Akan unit there, which is not actually super amazing. I think it's decent, but it's not like game breaking. Snoopa trying to take the stagecoach line here. Maybe want to research stagecoach himself. Might actually want to find himself pushing to the northern side now that he sees a couple of villages in the tin mine. War's being expanded, and this other trading post to siege. Just seen, he does have his team arranged infantry attack, so his skirmishers do 20 attack each. The musketeers do 31, so certainly decently buffed units, now making more Falconets behind. Where those Culverins, are they still alive or have they gone down? It looks like they've unfortunately gone down, which is a bit of a shame because, you know, versus like Jan Abus Falk, you shouldn't really be ever losing your Culverins as such, but it looks like that is the case so far. And Risotto now push onto the train line. See that train post just been built, so the investment there not really paying off there for the French player, but kind of getting out on the map, gets his influence, and yeah. I think Skirm Goon here does a much better job than Skirm Musk. The Ottomans have a very clear weakness to Dragoons in general, and what the Dragoons don't kill, the Skirms mop up afterwards as well. But yeah, having this town centre come down this delayed afterwards is a bit tough, to be honest. Look at his villagers. I want to say that is Gangsaw. I don't think it's Log Flume. Oh, there's CDBs behind, but yeah. Also, no refrigeration, no Royal Mint in deck. I mean, in a situation like this, I think having Royal Mint's pretty nice. I'm not too sure these guys. I don't think they have. It's hard. I don't know my CDB gatherer rates off by heart. But I don't think these guys have their amalgamation. And on a very boomy map like this, with lots and lots of natural resources, I think amalgamation has a real strong place. You know, a case to be researched in this game. Cavalry combat coming in now. Crassio has been trained behind this, so trying to go for the cavalry play switch. I liked how he stopped training these musketeers now because they're kind of. They're not useless, but they don't have that same impact as you'd hoped for earlier on. Spahi coming down for a raid, and oh boy, here comes the first Spahi raid. I think Snoopa will see it's coming. You'll see the Spahis. I don't think many will go down actually. So luckily, that the Spahi's not going down the southern line here or onto the hunts. I want to ride with Risotto and see what he actually sees. He sees one CB there. He sees a couple of CBs on the hunts. So yeah, 5 CB raid here. It's not too bad. Actually, he's pulled back his villagers though. You've got to be careful. Might lose a bit over here. So those CBs going down. He does see more as well. So that's going to be a lovely raid. And the Dragoons are going to have to make their way back. I think the Dragoons have to basically retreat and deal with this. And yes, they are charging behind. Spahi's sieging, not what you really want. They're going to run to the back line, and will they find any more villagers? I think they're on a one-way trip now. They are committed to raiding. Arsenal coming down. You know, Arsenal doesn't get built in a random position for no reason. They've got to be built by somebody, and that's the CDBs. And oh, he's seen them. He's seen them. There's no great coach for Snoopa. Oh, I think Risotto. I think you commit there on those CDBs. I think, you know, with all these Dragoons chasing you, and the potential for a single snare. As soon as you get snares, these Spahis are it feels like they're basically dead. I know you're trying to keep them alive, but that could have been another 7 CDB gone, which in this situation of trying to trade off your eco while letting your eco just explode. Like, look at your position. You got so many resources to the point that now you basically need to go for the Akan trading post. You know, send in the 5k gold mine. Get that going. Obviously, that does provide a 10% gather rate as well, so it's pretty decent in the sense that it's an upgrade as well as access to the 5k gold mine, and actually getting its infantry speed and build time is very useful for going your Jan Abus, you know, main combo. Vet Jans, you don't have your Jan combat yet. Certainly need to get the Jan combat in as soon as reasonably possible. But the thing is, now you're going for the 4th age. Do you go Jan combat or factories? It's kind of like you kind of need to do both. Maybe the mosque with Mercanton is your play. Onto the water now, very nice play. Definitely need to focus onto the whales, but there's only 2 whales. Yeah, you've seen where the other whale is, which is a bit awkward in that sense. Securing its tin mine is a priority, and also the Akan gold mine. Yes, the berry tech is actually possible. So the mill tech there, some people would think it is just a mill tech, but it also does benefit the berries by like 30%. Yeah, that makes sense. The gathering from the mills 30%. Also, on a note, it gathers from cherry orchards by 30%. I'm not too sure that the cherry orchards should be buffed by that much as well. But yeah, that makes your berry bushes very strong income of food. And yeah, we see that Risotto gathering on these berry bushes. That's absolutely fine. It's better to be gathering on your berry bushes instead of your natural, your base mill. But once you start taking mills in, it's a little bit better. These guys having 0.8 food per second. That's refrigeration coming in, really helping out as well. So yeah, some decent food eco here from Risotto. Couple Falconets from Snoopa out. Skirm's still doing strong, but you just see Max is getting behind his walls. no point engaging if you're aging up. And yeah, there's the 1,000 coin on the floor. That's going to be crucial to get ships going in behind. And I think at this moment in time, researching mechanism, because you don't need units now on the field so in super now. Mechanism into, you know, the bombard, double factory, hold on, and then bam, you've got another 2 factories. Beautiful positioning. And I think in this situation with Always Eco, those factories are going to be on great bombard production. You don't need any more economy already. And actually having 42 villagers on the tree line. Oh, it's Gangster only. Oh my god, get log for him. You're getting log for him. That's good to see. That's Jan. That's God Abus. Is God Abus? Culverin Royale. Oh, I see. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, to win the Culverin War. This is Jan combat. Yeah, God Jans. No one knows Udasi buffs Shrine Generation. No, I did not either. Does that actually? That seems a bit strange. I think. Okay. I think Udasi. Look at my pencil. Look at my pencil. Yes, I'm talking to you in the front row of the class. I think Udasi buffs all non-natural gather rates, so mills, plantations, and that's where the shrines come in as well. I don't think it won't boost bank gather rate, but that might be something for me to jot down and do at a later point, actually. Next tier, mills, that's very nice. He's up to 102 villagers. I don't know whether the other villagers have come in from there. That seems to be a bit too many there. He's not training villagers. Oh, it's fishing boats. Ah, makes sense. He's got fishing boats. 6 fishing boats, and yeah. Oh, he's just population blocked at the moment. It's not just actually. It's not max vills. Just he's just population blocked. Another TP coming in. Maybe just try to think to outspam. Maybe go for just an aggressive trade monopoly just to kind of really put pressure. He needs to manually research his outpost upgrades. He's got the tech in his deck, but I don't think that's much of a problem. Guard Jan. God, Spy here. He sent the 6th Spy card, hasn't he? And aged up with the Grand Vizier for more spies. He's kept that original batch of 5 alive. Maybe only having 4 coming back. So that's actually quite decent in its own right. More CDBs over here. No great coats from Snoopa. Snoopa, you make me cry. I like a great coats always from you. Don't make me get out don't get me out of the chalkboard and go back to Age of Empires 101 with you. Great coats, almost incredible technology in the game. God Abus guns coming in, and yes, it's just Risotto just kind of rolling through the upgrades one by one, just buying his time. Now getting his long lines as well, and I think he could even just like say, okay, now I've got so much population here, I can just go straight to the Imperial Age. Actually, Snoopa since the 4th Age himself, so Max actually now is thinking, right, I need to do something about this. If he's saying the Fortress Age, it's pretty much game over. Now he's in the 4th Age. There's a way for Snoopa to come back in. But Snoopa nowhere near that population, only 50 vills. It's only his factory now, but 50 vill population not ideal. Out of natural coin mines, this is when he needs to call a can, you know, for the 325 food, wood, tech, and get that gold mine and start gathering from. I think both players here are kind of forgetting what the training posts here have on offer. Culverin's pushing forward, but they're just going to get destroyed by the Abus guns. That's a lot of units to lose there from Snoopa. I think these guys at Jans are going to start the break through the wall here. Factory does come out here from Snoopa, but from Risotto's point of view, he's actually sending upgrade cards instead of teching into factories, which is a bit interesting. And sending Abus HP instead of Jan combat, which I think is a bit of a mistake there. But he's going for the caravan trade on the northern line, which is fine. I'd actually like to see these stay on the experience points, actually. I don't think you need any more resources, but you need the experience points to get those upgrades rolling through. So hopefully he leaves it like that. But yeah, these Jans do... God Abus do so much damage. The Jans do very well. The Spahies in combat as well. This is a great fight, especially Krasis charging in. This is a fight that the Spahies do very well is in melee mode. Dragoons are just running around. The Dragoons don't know where they want to fire. But they don't have their ranged cavalry carousel just yet. Although he does have the arsenal in the background. So he does have counter infantry rifling, doing a good job there. And soon I'd like to see a transition to Gardner Hussar or Bastagi Hussars there from our Ottoman friends. With all that food eco as well from the fishing and just the berries and the mills. Spamming Hussars here is certainly a strong play for him and a good option for him to go for as well. It's interesting now that Ottoman has actually access to gold mines. He's actually quite happy sitting on the plantations, which is probably to move out for a tin mine. It's absolutely correct. But if you call the gold mine, you just put the gold mine right next to your plantation, move them from the plantation onto the gold mine, and then move them back once they're done. Abus guns. You see it in terms of military, like Max with like double eco just couldn't really get the military side done, but the eco was absolutely smashed from behind. So that was yeah. I think the game was pretty much set from when Snoopa on a 1 TC agenda in the Fortress Age couldn't really break through Max's defenses. So yeah, for both players, get to know your. I mean, okay, this is more for Max than Risotto because this is his home map he's picked. Get to know your native settlements. Know what they can do for you. Know when you want to be looking into them. Both players would have desperately needed the gold mining upgrade here from the cans, and certainly, I'd rather have 10 vills with amalgamation on a gold mine than on a plantation. These guys gather 0.65 coin per second, and they walk around. This is the homesteading being researched as well. This is so much upgrades being invested into the plantation where. Gold mine is so much better. The whale gathering is much better. 0.72, and this is just a cheap fishing boat as well. So this is kind of like the differences of can you try and maximize your coin income without going plantations, and that's where the factories could work as well. Obviously, you never got around to send factories; it's in upgrade cards. And I think from get to know your natives. If you're in the 4th age and you have the eco like in this build, you've got 90 village plus 100 villagers. This is one of those occasions where you certainly get mechanicism, get the XP, because XP you can't get enough of in that sense. To get those things going through. The Silk Road option for Age 1 to get extra resources from the crates. So I think we could take this build from a very good build to a crisp, excellent build as well. And Snoopa, when 1k wood, 1k coin, 2 factories. It's a nice kind of build to kind of get yourself on the map, and it's a very efficient build. But with that 1k wood, I'd like to see a town centre come down early just to try and keep up, because you know what Ottomans are doing. You know they're doing the build sitting defensive. You know you're on a timer, and if you can match their economy, then you've got a chance. But if you let their economy take off, then naturally you'll fall behind. So yeah, but we'll probably even see on the villagers how it takes off. Passy has played this map a few times. I think possibly 3 times. 3 rounds he's played it actually. I think he's now picked the Great Plains as his own home map. Technically, the rules specify this needs to be a standard map. I'm not quite sure if this is still in the standard map pool. I haven't checked, but it was at the start of the tournament, so I'm not going to be too antsy if it's not in the standard map pool anymore. I haven't played enough games to know if it is in the standard map pool, but you need to check that if it is, and others if they're watching, because if it's not in the standard map pool anymore, then but no, I don't know. It's hard to say because if people use it in the week 1, then it feels really bad to take it out. But then again, I don't think having maps is that much of a deciding factor between players. I think French on this map is a fine counter pick. I don't think it's the map made this matchup imbalanced. I think it's just both players have options to go with it, and just happen to be a pretty well executed defense from you as well. So I would say. Yeah, they didn't mention about it, so I don't really fancy sitting at home re-rolling through all the maps to try and find it. Maybe I'll send Vivid a message just to check, because he will know it off by heart if it is. And all resources gathered as well. Yeah, Snoopa ahead early on, as you expect. Obviously, quite a lot of these resources are being put into villages himself. But once your eco takes off, it's just, it's always chasing a tough game in that situation. But look at the village population. Snoopa gets into that second town centre production. Way too late. He's down in 16 minutes, but that could be in a town centre early on the 1k wood. I think he opened 1k wood. He went 2 falconets, 1k wood, 1k coin. So yeah, this would be the town centre. At least try and keep up would do quite well. But yeah, that's it for that series. So thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it. And if you enjoyed seeing me down here, well, let me know. I think it works quite well, actually. I've actually quite enjoyed it. And I occasionally look over to... I check the other monitor and just see myself. I think, it looks quite nice, actually. So, yeah, let me know. Give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, follow the playlist. All the series are being added to the Trash Can League playlist, so you can look back at other rounds, other players, and other matchups at your own conveniences. So, thank you very much, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much.